Have you ever caught a print failure in the middle of the failure and you're actually able to kind of fix it? Oh my God. So each of the layers on this print take like 2, maybe 3 minutes per layer. So I'm used to every couple minutes hearing this thing turn like a big jerk. Because the print head will go from all the way in that very back corner to all the way in this front really quickly. So this will just unravel like almost an entire spin. And it makes a little bit of noise, not a ton, but it makes some noise where you're actively, if you're in the basement, you can hear it. So I'm over here working on my maker coins. Check these out. And I realized, I haven't heard that spin in a few minutes. So I go over and check on it. And I didn't have time to like record any of this. Well, I did, but I didn't. I just set up the camera. You'll see it later in a long form. But if you remember, this was right here, right in there. And the filament was still in it. And I was like, wait a minute. So I go look, and there's no filament going from the runout sensor to the extruder. And I'm like, oh no, what the heck is going on? And we were about 2 millimeters above the print. And I'm like, pfft. So I go and investigate, and sure enough, the filament was still in the sensor, but it had been rubbing up against the bottom of the plywood. And it must have just snapped because like the angle, it was just at like a too sharp of an angle, and the plywood just cut the filament. And I was like, shoot, are we gonna have a repeat of that guy? But that was my problem, that was my fault. Okay, technically this was my fault too, but we're not gonna talk about that. So I did my best to move the roller over this hole as far as possible so that it's got a good angle. And then this guy is able to move freely now. So now we have a very good angle going in. So I restarted the print and did my best to get it as close as possible. Now I only had one issue, if it'll focus. It's not going to focus. I only have one issue, and that's right here didn't stick. But everything else I touched and it managed to stick. It does look a little bit different visually. We had some bubbling, you can tell, but overall now I think that we're working. Like, I think it's at the right layer height. I even measured with my digital calipers and it looked about right. And this right here is the only part not sticking. I checked the rest of the chair, the rest of it seems to be looking good. And you will notice too that like there's going to be a little bit of a lip because again this was like 2 millimeters higher, and I just hit the Z button down like a ton of times.